Do you find yourself recreating the wheel every time you get a new lead or you set an appointment and you're not following the same process, you're doing something different every single time? Well, this is something that I have found most real estate agents are doing, and they don't have a real true sales process. Now, in real estate sales, as real estate agents, it's really easy to forget that every other salesperson and every other sales organization in the entire world has a really simple, strict process that they follow every single time. And the reason they do that is so that they don't find themselves dropping the ball, forgetting to do something, because they do it the same every single time. So in this video, I'm gonna break down what we have made our sales process. We broke it down to the 4 most simple steps that we could, and obviously there's a lot of sub-steps to that, but I'm gonna break it down in this video, and I hope you get something valuable out of this. Now, if you don't have a sales process and you find yourself recreating that wheel, go ahead and just copy and paste this into your business. The example I'm gonna give you is for a buyer, because most real estate agents work with buyers, and a lot of people have a very different sales process on the seller side. But I'll tell you this much, this sales process works for both buyers and sellers. It's a very simple and easy process. So let's start with this. If you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader here at Onyx Homes, and I make these videos to give as much information back to other real estate agents out there as possible. I've got a lot of value from other agents that are way ahead of me in their careers, and this is my way of giving back. So the start to finish in real estate, if you want to go to onyxhomes.com/blog, you can check out all of the different articles that I put together of helpful tips to help you grow your business. So anyway, let's get down to it. So the 4 steps in the sales process, I'm going to break through 1 step at a time, and I have a huge bonus for you towards the end. You might want to stick around for that. So first and foremost, when we're starting this sales process, it starts once an appointment is set. And the reason I'm setting it up this way is there are so many different lead sources, whether it be open houses, door knocking, cold calling, Zillow, whatever it might be, or it could be expired for sale by owners, whatever. Once you've set an appointment, the goal of the sales process is to meet with more people, win the business more often, and then close more deals because of that. So all of the sales process starts once you have set an appointment. This eliminates, it only works for this lead source, it only works for this. Regardless of what once you get the lead, you get the appointment, from there moving forward is when this sales process starts. And also, by the way, maybe we'll put a QR code or something on the screen down in the description, but there will be a link to this document that we use. It's nothing pretty, it's an easy Google Doc, but this is gonna have screenshots on our CRM, our email text templates and stuff like that that I'll mention. So you will have access to that. If we're gonna put a QR code, it would go right here, but you can check down below as well too. All right, so let's dive into this. So the step number 1 of 4 is what we call becoming best friends. This, in my opinion, is the most important and simple way to meet more of the clients. So like we said, we want to meet more clients that we set appointments with, meaning you want to set the appointment and actually meet them. You want to win the business more often, and then you want to close more deals. So the first part of that is meeting with more people. So for example, if you set up 10 appointments this week and you're only gonna meet with 4 of them, you could probably double your conversion by just meeting with more people. There's a few different ways to do that. So the first thing that I always do is when I hop off the phone with the first meaningful conversation with somebody, I always send the same text template. And I'm also gonna finish the phone call giving my clients exactly what the next step's gonna be. So I'll end my conversations with, hey John, it was really nice chatting with you. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you a text message from my personal cell phone number so you can save this number in your phone. I'm gonna tell them exactly what I want them to do. That way, between now and tomorrow at 3 o'clock, when we're gonna go ahead and meet at 123 Main Street, if you have any questions in the meantime, you have my information, give me a holler, let me know. But I'm gonna send you that text message, save that number in your phone. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Bye. Hang up the phone. I'm texting immediately afterwards. Text template, our CRM makes it super easy. Hit the template button, send nice chatting, and I'll give you the text template right down here, but it's the same thing. Hey John, nice chatting with you. Here is my personal cell phone, so you can save this number in your phone, and then I just put name, phone number, email. Super easy. Also, our CRM allows you to send your V card. So just like when you're texting with an iPhone, you can text them your contact card, same thing, they can save that right in their phone, saves your website, saves your email, saves everything. You want them to save you in your phone because the next time you call, you want them to know that they've talked to you, they've saved you in the phone, you're gonna pick up, you're gonna have more conversations more often. Also, I want them to respond to this text message. So I'm gonna send that nice chatting text template, and then I'm also gonna follow up with something I could pull from our conversation to build rapport. Maybe their dog was barking, maybe their kid was screaming, maybe they mentioned they were golfing, whatever you can do to build some rapport. If I heard a dog barking in the background, I might say, hey, by the way, it sounded like you have dogs. Here's a picture of mine, by the way. Get some sort of a response. Gonna do a couple things. If they don't save your number in the phone, it is gonna make a conversation, so you're not gonna show up as spam likely if that were to happen. That's something we're dealing with big time right now in any sales industry. But anytime you can get conversations going after the fact, your sticking rate, meeting with that person, is gonna go through the roof. The next thing is you're gonna do exactly what you said you were gonna do. This might sound super obvious, but a lot of times we're gonna be in a 10 or 15 minute conversation setting an appointment. We set the appointment and then we don't do anything until we meet them. You wanna do as much activity as possible before you actually meet that person. You should be setting them up on a home search. Hopefully you're not sending through the MLS. Hopefully you're sending properties through a website like ours, SoCalHomesForSale.com. Really pretty, it's got your name all over it, and everything they do on that website is tracked, so you get that information. So I always set up our clients on a custom e-alert, is what it's called, with our CRM, to where they're getting an email based on the properties. And then after that, you can text the lead. You can say, hey, by the way, just like I promised, I sent over those properties that I mentioned that we can also maybe go look at. Check your email. Did you get it? Ask for a response. Anytime you are messaging somebody or emailing or whatever, ask for a response. Don't just say, hey, I sent you those properties. Say, I sent you those properties. Did you get it? And if they didn't get it, they're gonna tell you, but maybe went to spam, whatever, but like you're looking for that response. All right, so that's super simple. And then what we do is in our CRM, we set an appointment, put it in the calendar, be a professional. As a buyer's agent, as a listing agent, whatever, when I see an agent putting events in their calendar for showing a property and it says showing 1, showing 2, showing 3, because they're gonna look at 3 properties, it looks really unprofessional. And you as a real estate agent are gonna make a lot of money if this person closes on a deal. So be professional. I always do it this way. 123 Main Street, space dash space, lead name with Christian. That's how I always say it. So if you're gonna type it out, it would look just like this. And the point here is, one, hopefully you're getting really busy in your business and you're gonna realize that, hey, I've got 3 appointments with John, then I got 2 more appointments with Bob, 4 more with Nancy, and I'm gonna be really busy on Saturday out looking at properties with 3 different clients. And that way it tells me who I'm with, it tells them who they're meeting. If they don't remember your name, if they don't whatever, they know what house they're going on. Also with our CRM, we always put on reminders. So they're gonna get an email reminder for the calendar invite, they're gonna get a text message reminder at 8:30 in the morning of the appointment, confirming that they're ready to go. If I don't get a response to that confirmation, I reach out before the appointment to make sure that I'm not getting ghosted. I'm gonna reach out and say, hey John, just wanted to make sure we're good. I didn't get a confirmation after the text. Yep, sure, we'll see you in a couple hours. Great, awesome. Whatever you can do to meet more of your people is going to increase your conversion. Cannot stress this enough. I'm gonna spend a lot more time on this than the other ones. But when you are, let's say you set 10 appointments and you meet with 4 of the 10, if you were able to just meet with 8 of the 10 and you did nothing else different, you would double your conversion rate. Now, I'm not saying meeting with 4 is good or bad or whatever, but just painting the picture that you don't have to change anything else other than doing a better job after you've set the appointment between meeting them, you'll sell more houses. All right, so that's number 1, is becoming best friends. Number 2 is you're winning at the job interview. So I always explain, when you go to that first meeting, whether it's a listing presentation, a preview presentation, like you're selling a house and you're just previewing it, or if you're meeting somebody, property tour, or if your first is a buyer's consultation, which would be fantastic, you're winning the business at that job interview. They are interviewing you to pay you $10, $15, $20, $50, $60,000 to be their real estate agent, and you should treat it that way. So when we show up, I don't have my folder with me, but when we show up with a buyer, for example, we'll have a team branded, very high quality folder that's gonna have several different inserts in it that is gonna talk about all the different services that we offer as a company. I won't go into detail there, but it's very nice and it's very pretty, I promise. And anything else you're gonna include. So if it's comps, if it's the property flyers, whatever it might be, you're gonna put that and you're gonna give it to the client. Now here's another step forward, is you're not just gonna hand them something, you're gonna explain to them why you went to such a length to make this content, why you're giving it to them, and why it's important. So you're going to do that, you're gonna hand it to them, and you're gonna say something like, hey John, here's the reason why we put this together. So there's a couple different things in here for you. I have A, B, C, so that you can X, Y, and Z when you get back. Here's all the information. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's go look at the house, or let's go tour your property, whatever it might be. But explain it, don't just hand it to them. If you don't hand it to them and don't say anything, they're gonna feel like, what in the world is this guy handing me? Now at the job interview, which is your first appointment, I always follow a sales framework that I did not make up, but I have always followed this, and I heard it and I really resonated. This is pretty much exactly how I learned sales. And it goes through the closer framework. And now, while I don't love the name closer because it sounds cheesy in sales, but it makes a lot of sense. So the closer framework is very simple. It is C for clarify. Why in the world are they talking to a salesperson, you, in the first place? So you're clarifying their why. L is for label. You're labeling what their pain point is. Once they've told you why they're looking to make a move in the first place, you should be able to label their problem. If you don't know labels very well, I would go read Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Incredible book with a lot of training in there. Amazing book. O is for overview, what they've done so far. So you're gonna ask them, cool, this was your problem. It sounds like you're trying to fix that problem by doing whatever. That's your label. And then your overview is, what have you done so far to fix that problem? They're gonna tell you where they're at in the process. And you're not asking them, hey, when are you gonna move? When am I gonna make a deal? You're asking them, what have you done so far to make this happen? Now, from here, you should have enough information to figure out how you can help solve that problem. So this is when you would go in for S, is sell, of course. Now, the idea here is you're not selling the problem or what's gonna actually happen. You're gonna sell the outcome. You're gonna sell the vacation. You wouldn't sell all of if you're giving away a trip to Hawaii, you wouldn't sell everything in between getting to Hawaii. You would sell the vacation. You'd sell sandy beaches, waves, beautiful dinners, and all that fun stuff. You wouldn't be selling the airport TSA and the airplane ride. So that is your S, that's for selling. Once you've sold, you'll explain that there's a lot of people that have been in their shoes ahead of them and they're making the right decision to solve that problem. And R is review. So you're gonna review, okay, based on everything we talked about, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. So that's your closer framework. I have a way more in-depth training on this if you want in a full university setup. So it goes through our entire sales process and it goes through the entire closer framework with a ton of different scripting. So that's gonna be in the description, in the text, wherever it might be. Find that link and click on it, drop your email and go through that course. It's wide open, it's super free. You can share it with any friends you want. It's something that I use with our team in training sales, but also training our process. So you got documents, everything in there. I would highly recommend checking that out if you're looking at increasing your sales skills or adding a sales process to your business. So that's really number 2. At the end of number 2, which is winning at the job interview, what you're gonna make sure you're doing is establishing the next steps. And what next steps really should be is setting up a strategy session. And what you're gonna get used to saying is you're gonna say, well, based on what you've shared with me, my clients have found it really helpful to do this thing we call a strategy session. There's 3 major things that we cover in this strategy session. First and foremost is we share with you what our clients are doing to take advantage of the market, piquing curiosity. Number 2 is we share with you how we keep you protected through the entire process. And third, we also make sure that we show you how to get the best deal under whatever the circumstances are. Would that be a bad idea? And I'm looking for a no, that sounds like a great idea. If they say, yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea, well, you probably screwed up somewhere along the road. But anyway, that is number 2, you're winning at that job interview. If they say, no, I'm not really right now, blah, blah, blah. If they're giving you some pushback, you're gonna objection handle there, but you're going to set the next step. Even if that next step is call back later, whatever it might be, but you're setting that next appointment at the end of this appointment. That is winning the business. Now, number 3 is gonna be doing the strategy session, ideally, especially for the buyer side. Now, for the seller side, this is when you would be going in for the actual listing presentation. And I call them a seller strategy session and a buyer strategy session because that's really what it should be, not a presentation of how wonderful you are. Buyer's consultation, strategy session, whatever you want to call it, is step 3. This is really where you are earning that person. You're taking them from a lead, taking them to a client that wants to work with you. I'm not going to go over our strategy session. I have a ton of training in that same university that I mentioned earlier as well too, so I won't go into detail, but I will say if you do not have a strategy session, buyer's consultation, whatever you want to call it, and if it is not incredibly valuable to the consumer, you are going to convert less leads. Our strategy session is somewhere between 45 minutes and 2 hours. Frankly, it depends on how many questions the consumer asks, but this is something that afterwards, 1, they are so confident that I know what I'm doing. They are really confident with the sales process and not the sales process, but the actual process of buying a property, that they're more comfortable going out and doing what they need to do to buy or sell a home. And then last but not least, it makes our life, our transaction team's life, way easier when we get to writing offers, getting in the listing contract, and actually making a deal happen because they actually know what's happening. So you're gonna convert way more if you don't have this. I would highly recommend going to that training, watching it, and implementing it into your business. I don't care if you just copy and paste it. So number 4 is you're gonna create a game plan. Here's the entire asterisk all over the screen here that your client agrees to. So every time you're finishing a conversation, this is step number 4 in the sales process, you are creating a game plan that your client agrees to. This is super important, especially that back half, because you don't want it to be an arbitrary, okay, cool, I'll call you later or I'll follow up with you at some random point in the future. You want to have a very specific game plan in place. So if that person that's 2 years out, not moving anytime soon, they just wanted to go look at a property or they just wanted to have you go look at the house to give it an estimate, you're gonna say, great, here's what I'm gonna do. Based upon what you've shared with me, this is what my clients that are in your shoes have found it most helpful, is I'm gonna send you a market update every month, I'm gonna send you an updated home valuation every couple of months, and every month or so, I'm gonna touch base just to make sure you don't need anything changed, whatever. Sound good? And they're gonna say yes, or they're gonna say, no, you don't need to ever call me again. And again, this is where you're gonna have your objection handlers, but if your client does not agree to your game plan, you're dropping the ball. Now, you're also gonna have game plans for really close. So if somebody likes the house and wants to write an offer, your game plan's probably gonna sound more like, well, great, let me go ahead and go back to my office, I'm gonna run some numbers to figure out exactly what I think we're gonna need to be able to do. Now, if you're talking with somebody that is maybe looking at a property and they love it and they wanna write an offer, your game plan's gonna sound totally different. It might sound something like, all right, cool, so when I get back to my office, I'm gonna go ahead and run numbers and figure out where I think we can be at this house as far as price. I'm gonna negotiate with the listing agent to figure out what terms are super important, and then I'll call you back so we can kind of review. That way you guys have time to talk and think about it, and think of whatever questions you have. Call you around 5 or 6 o'clock. Does that sound good to you? Yes, I have an appointment to call that person back 5 or 6 o'clock to go over comps and write the offer. That is setting up a game plan that makes sense and that they agree to. If they say, no, you don't need to do all that, let us go home and talk about it. Like, well, wait a second, you just said you wanted to buy this house. Why wouldn't I go do all those things? They might say, well, maybe we're not quite that serious quite yet. And you're handling that objection there because you're asking them to agree to the game plan. And that's it. So for that person that's 2 years out that you're gonna send a market update to every month and you're gonna do all of those things, that's it. You're gonna call them 2 months later and say, hey, John, it's Christian, just calling you back. I've been sending you those market updates. Is there anything about your home search changing? Anything about your home value, doing any upgrades, whatever. But you're following up with your game plan that you set in place the last time we talked. And if you do this with every single client, your long-term nurture is gonna get a heck of a lot easier, because a lot of the times I hear agents all the time, I just don't know what to say. And it's because you're not setting up that game plan. The client doesn't know why you're calling. And frankly, you don't know why you're calling. So that's our sales process. Become best friends, win at the job interview, earn the business with a strategy session, and then create a game plan that they agree to. So in the link somewhere down below, you're gonna have an open university to our sales process, which is what we just scratched the surface on, as well as the closer framework. There's also our entire strategy session, buyer's consultation, training in there as well too. It's a ton of information. If you like that type of stuff, go check it out. If you want to learn more about our team and a lot more information, you can always head over to joinonyxhomes.com. My name is Christian. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, like the video, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.